Hello and welcome to the Deputy Bear podcast. My name's Sean and joining me today is the one and only Lukas, Mr. LP, real LP, my man. How are we?
I'm very well, thanks, Sean. How are you?
Yeah, good. Fucking really good basketball and really bad basketball. Is that what you're seeing in the end of the first round?
Yeah, all 7 series. There's like 2 that are bad and then 5 that are really good. But yeah, Marco and I had a pretty good ep on Tuesday, kind of saying valet to the teams that got sent home, which you should go check out if you haven't. But then we also did a player draft as well, and I'm just bloody kicking myself I didn't pick Mr. Gobert, the Baguette Biombo himself.
I didn't really get what you were saying in the group chat. You're like, I should have picked him fourth. And you were saying, like, when did you pick Maxey? 5th?
Well, I picked Maxey 4th.
Oh.
Because I was worried. So I thought, because Marco had picked Jokic 1.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no way Marco's going to go and get another centre.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I get the first pick, I'm picking Jokic. If I get the second pick, I'm picking Gobert like 10th. And I'm getting so much value there. I get to pick 4 players I can like low-key reach on, knowing Gobert will be there. Then Marco went ahead and picked him. And I was like, I love the goal, but that's kind of fucked my plans up entirely.
Yeah. But you were saying this while Maxey was going off, and you like should have drafted Gobert higher.
Well, yeah, because we were also drafting lineups, as you are one to love, and then also knowing that Maxey wasn't even on Marco's radar, my lineup would have been Ant, Luka, Pascal, Siakam.
It's been a bit.
He just wins the game every time. Ant, Luka, Siakam, Gobert, Maxey, which would have just been equal parts good and equal parts sexy. Fans would have voted on that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about why we were talking about Tyrese Maxey, like that shot. And the shot before it, which was now decided to be a travel, according to the last 2-minute report. So you just want to have like a couple of minutes, maybe the last 2 minutes right now, just on the last 2 minutes. Like, it's not necessary.
It's truly not necessary. I don't think there's never any follow-up. There's never like... the more we go on this, like, adding rules, taking this way, doing this, doing that, I think I'm getting closer towards maybe refs just need to make mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe we need to get back to just, like, the human error is probably fine if it takes... Because, like, the flow of the game, of course, is just abhorrent. Actually, after the Mavs-Clippers game today, Ernie Johnson, you might have heard of him, famous podcaster, said... he was like, oh, we had a pretty quick game today. It was only 2 hours and 15 minutes. And it's like, I reckon that kind of sets the scene for everything. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think we need. I don't like what's unless the last 2-minute report leads to better basketball in the future or better reffing in the future. Then what's it? What are we doing with it?
Yeah, and I think they are also just publishing it quietly, and then like aggregators like Bleacher Report are grabbing the thing and just like. Obviously, Knicks get clicks, so like anything involves with the Knicks, and anything involved with just a close game, you say, hey, like, look, Knicks, you could have won this, and it gets clicks. I guess we just don't need to publish them. Like, we're not publishing like a random Tuesday Oklahoma at Indiana when like all the stars are injured. Though we're not publishing those last 2-minute reports, but. Yeah, I don't know. Do we need it and all? And my friend Joe was telling me, we were just watching soccer highlights like ages ago, and he's like, man, they just ruined the flow of the game with this with the offside stuff, where like guys will kick a goal, and instead of like running off like doing a backflip, they immediately look to the guy with the flag, say, oh, the flag's up, and he celebrates a bit, and then 10 minutes passes and they go, oh, you actually were offside because your fingernail was like just in this red line, and then all of a sudden like the guy who kicked the goal is like looking around like yeah sick, and he gives like a couple of like really low energy high fives, and he's like, man, this probably happens like 2-3 times a game, and it just fucking ruins the flow. And I'm like, you should watch basketball. I would love 2 interruptions in my game.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Also, on the flow of the game, I've probably said this on a pod, I've definitely said it in person. If we're doing these coaches challenges, official review, if you can't come to a conclusion within a minute, just rule it before. Because at that point, if you're slowing it down, getting so detached from what the play actually was, then you made that call for a reason in the moment, That was, sometimes you messed up the technical, the foul technically, but maybe you made the right actual call, I remember early on in the review days, there's like so many instances of like one player slapping another player's hand that would then mean that the player whose hand got slapped would touch the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
And then everyone's looking at it in super slow-mo and they couldn't change the call.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, so we're going to just ignore the fact that it's clearly the other guy's fault.
Yeah.
And it's also a foul.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think away with the last 2 minute report.
But the last 2 minute report was on Tyrese Maxey's 4-point play, which he hit over/including Mitchell Robinson. And then Josh Hart missing one free throw or two. Yeah, he split the free throws. Inbound the ball, Joel Embiid had the ball, every eyeball was on him. Passed up to Maxey, who just pulled it from just inside the logo. Fucking incredible shot. Absolutely amazing. And I really hope this goes to 7 or, maybe Philly win the series.
Really?
Well, I hope so anyway.
You hope Philly win the series?
No, well, let's talk about who we're going for and who we think are going to win at the end. But just the Tyrese Maxey shot. Well, what were your thoughts when you saw it?
Epic, so cool. I felt like a G when I picked him in that. Not to harp on myself, but when I picked him in that draft. But I felt like a genius when he got hot in Game 5. Well, do you think he's been better than Embiid?
It's so up and down. Embiid's obviously got every problem under the planet, right? But then, he had that 50 burger and he didn't even jump, right? And then he had a triple-double in the last game, clearly using a lot of his gravity to help the other guys who hit the shots.
That's the thing.
Which is it's just the Embiid question all the time, where it's imagine if he just did that all the time, because he's always going to have the gravity.
Yeah.
Let's say you just replace Embiid with just a clean Capella, right?
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, I get you. The D then keys in on Maxey, and that's the thing about is Maxey I think he's the biggest threat. I think he's playing 150% of his role.
Yeah.
But then it is that question of the D is so focused on Embiid and they're so worried about him, and
is Maxey just the best second option?
Yeah. But I think also with Embiid it's different, because in the past we've seen him just mess up so many times when he has everyone's eyes on him, and then also in the past we've seen him with a second player who's jury's out on whether or not Jimmy was just better than Embiid when he was at the Sixers. But when the other guy he plays with has flopped, and when the other guy he's played with has done really well, and I don't know, it's just kind of. Hang on, should we pause for a sec?
Yeah, it's just a bird. It's just going to keep flopping.
But we could throw a spear at it or something.
All right, let's grab the spears. And we're back. No birds were harmed in the little interval.
Professional tree shaker, and that's not an innuendo. Boy, he's back.
Nah, I don't reckon it's coming up. Watching this stuff and watching Maxey hit his top percentile outcome as a second option. Joel Embiid's obviously still in his prime if he can still play basketball. By the way, Joel Embiid, I've just got the stats up: 19 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists, and 9 turnovers. So maybe I gave him too much credit there for saying he was passing the ball to the open and the
he was gunning for that quad dub as well.
Yeah. So. It just makes me think they've obviously got the picks that they got back in the James Harden deal, and they've obviously got tradable salaries. Just makes me think that, as we know, windows are so small, and they might get Paul George in the off-season, they might get some super duper star who's a great second or third fiddle, which I think if they can get Paul George, that would be the absolute best fit they could get with Maxey, who we now know is in that tier 1, tier 2 scoring guards, and Joel Embiid, who's an MVP candidate / just MVP. If they can get Paul George, that'll be the best fit ever. But what if there was just someone available with those who's less than Paul George, just to throw everything in right now?
Levine? Or is that too far? Is that too far down at least?
Maybe too far. Maybe Pascal Siakam, right? Could they have got involved, or maybe OG Anunoby? Could they have got involved in that? Because could this team, plus trading those two picks, have really competed for a title to then go into the next point? I still think the Knicks are going to win the series, even if the Sixers have momentum. What do you think?
So, Game 5, Knicks up 3-1. A minute to go. They're up by 6 points.
Yeah.
And MSG, they cut to Patrick Ewing. He's high-fiving people the series is over.
Yeah.
I thought it was just series over.
Who else did they cut to?
Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
More than once. That's why I laughed, and that's why that's whatever. They cut to potentially Larry Johnson as well. They cut to Knicks legends, and they were like, yes, Knicks in 5, Knicks in 6 minus 1.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just really felt like series over. I think the Knicks' third win, which was Game 4, I think that is the only game they've played better than the 76ers. I think Game 1 and 2, I think the 76ers had a better scheme. I think you replay Game 1 and 2 100 times, I reckon the 76ers win them more than 50 times. I think the 76ers like, yeah, fuck, man, all right, Josh Hart hit 6 threes, 4 threes, whatever it is, Dante DiVincenzo, they all got hot. We shut Brunson the fuck down. Embiid wasn't his full self. And then Maxey was, playing overs. But I actually think the overall game plan was better on Philly's side in Game 1 and 2. And I'm going for the Knicks. 1,000% I'm going for the Knicks. But I'm not confident in saying that. It's hard. I think they'll win. I think they'll still win.
Yeah, in 6 or 7.
In 6, well, it has to be.
No, question mark. In 6 or 7.
In 6 or 7. Yeah, because that's the thing. I think it's Sixers in 7 or it's Knicks in 6. Which side note, both of those sound so good.
Yeah. And then in the second round they'll have the Magic or the Cavs.
Who?
The Knicks. Oh, yeah. So, well, I feel like we can maybe talk about that series as well.
If you want to, you can.
I don't want to.
Okay,
cool. Let's not. Cool, awesome. We're on the same page. But yeah, these are the second and third best teams behind Boston in the East. I find myself rooting for Philly because I don't want happiness for Knicks fans. And I feel like they can do the most noise against Boston because I also don't want happiness for Boston fans. That's fair. But I also don't really want the 76ers to win. So I'm in a bit of a pickle because the Bucks aren't winning, right? It comes down to, I'm channeling Alessio here, but it comes down to tears of hate where I hate the Knicks the most, I hate Boston the second most, and I would just love to see this Maxey and this Embiid just blow up every single scheme that they go against. But I have to, we've seen it time and time again where teams will win one really big game and then it's like, oh no, you actually were down 3-1 and there's a reason why 3-1 is so hard to come back from. And the last team to win 3-1 going away was 2016 Cavs, like one of the greatest teams ever, right? And then before that, it was like, it started with a 1-9, right? And it was like some team that it was mentioned, but I obviously can't remember it because it wasn't memorable. So that also adds to it. Like to go into MSG in a Game 7 for the 76ers, if they win that game, next to impossible, that probably fucking says something about how good this team is if they can go from 3-1 down to then go into New York in Game 7 and win. So it's copying out, but whoever's going to win this series is going to really have the momentum going forward. But I think it's Knicks in 6.
Yeah, I hope so. And so you reckon this is just a ticket to the conference finals coming up against the Pacers? But what if, because they were saying Giannis and Dame were questionable for Game 6. What's his name? Spiros Didis or something? Giannis. I love the way he says it. It's good for visibility. It's good for visibility for people who have Easter this weekend. Because if they play, I think the Bucks, obviously the health, them not being there, them coming back, they're not going to be that healthy. But it at least gives the Bucks offense structure and a focus and like two focal points that are also like two of the best 20 players in the league, and that's being like very
generous
safe.
to Dame.
You don't reckon Dame's top 20?
Like, would you rank Tyrese Maxey above him now?
Well, actually, wait, hang on. Before we do that, Tyrese Maxey, how crazy is it that in the season they traded away James Harden, Maxey just became better than him in the playoffs? Having him out of the way helped this team reach new heights. And then also on the other side, Harden's been, we'll get to Game 5, but Harden's been pretty good, was good through 4 games. Do I think Maxey's better than Damian Lillard right now? I think he's, form-wise, yes, but I think, overall, no. I would still, if I was drafting a roster going into the finals right now, I would be picking Dame over Maxey.
Yeah, I guess. But
if I don't know who else is on the team,
but in 2 weeks you might be changing. You might be changing what you're saying.
Yeah, potentially. But like, I'd pick Dame.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sounds like you're a Team Maxey.
Yeah, Dame hasn't had a great season, and then it's like, you know, in the past 10 plus years, you can look back and go, oh, well, Dame hasn't had a winning team around him, so you can't really blame him for not winning. But now he's in a winning situation and he hasn't won. And it's a very small sample size, but it's like, come on, man, like, what is it?
He's averaging 32 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
On 40, 44, 96 splits.
Yeah, but they might lose to the Pacers. Like,
that's true.
The Pacers aren't great. Like, they're playing Ben Shepherd, right?
Yeah. What do you... Go on, sorry.
No, I was just coughing.
Oh, cool. What have been your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and other for Andrew Nembhard?
Yeah, I think I've said this on this pod. I think he's really good, and I think his future is like a good backup combo guard. Like, I think his future in the league is like Spencer Dinwiddie, right? And like maybe a more... Well, Spencer Dinwiddie was quite good for who he was. So I think maybe his future is Spencer Dinwiddie, someone who you would prefer to play at the 1, but you can play at the 2 in a pinch. But just because Halliburton hasn't been good on defense, he's been in Indiana because he just has such a high offensive need. The team's just not great on defense, and Nembhard is just a small 2. And I would love to see him not start at the 2. Imagine if they had Buddy Hield, and Buddy Hield getting DNPs for the 76ers in his first ever playoffs. But
he also just didn't score for like 3 of those games.
He deserves to not have him. But it was like, I wish they had a more, you know, sort of prototypical 2 in Indiana. What do you think about Andrew Nembhard?
I really liked that he's just been able to perform, and I feel like he's just reached his ceiling and he'll just be this player for the rest of his career. Yeah. And I just feel like players aren't like that anymore. They really need like time to develop into the player they're going to become. And he's just like, no, I can be. I've got the numbers up in front of me. I can be a 14-point scorer a night and just compete. Like I think that's a very maybe not overlooked, but like there's so much value in someone that wants to be out there and isn't going to shit themselves. Like Ant, more than anything else, he just wants to he wants to take on KD, and he wants to mash, he wants to take Beal to the ring every single time he gets the opportunity. I just think that that's something that you can't overlook, especially from a role player. And it's not like he's like, it's my team, you know. He's like, I'm a role player on this team. Also, 47% from 3 in 5 starts. Yeah. That's good.
No, he's definitely good. And when I was writing for Nug Love, the Denver Nuggets had said through channels and then got filtered down through aggregators that they were actually looking at Andrew Nembhard with their second round pick. This was the same offseason that they traded away Monty Morris, and it was looking like they were going to trade away Monty Morris. We didn't know that who it was for at the time, and obviously KCP has been a great fit, and you actually just don't need a backup point guard in the playoffs when you've got Jamal and Jokic. But he would have been a great fit on the Denver Nuggets. Can you imagine subbing him out for Justin Holiday right now? And then maybe they wouldn't have thrown money to Bruce Brown as well, because then they wouldn't have needed. Well, I guess you don't know because he's still a rookie. But he would fit on all 30 teams, Andrew Nembhard, which is great to say. But I just think on this team, because Halliburton, who can shoot off the catch, but Halliburton is just, you're much better off just giving him the ball. I think he'd be better maybe on another team, or maybe his future's just as a strict backup.
But I think that's also plays into it. Like you could just see the fit across 30 teams for Nembhard.
Yeah. But no one tuned in to listen to Andrew Nembhard talk in the 18th minute. Do you want to move on to the...
But trivia time, what was his draft pick?
31, I just looked it up. 31, whoa! Yeah, the most valuable pick in the draft outside of the top 15.
Is it?
Nah, is it?
Potentially.
Well, yeah, that's the NBA Twitter joke where it's just like, oh man, the Spurs just traded for a pick. Oh, it sucks. It's in the late 20s. Oh, but Washington's got the 31st pick because they had a really bad record. So you're going to want to trade for that.
Now we're talking.
Well, okay. Let's the title of this podcast is "Who's in the Driver's Seat Heading into the Second Round." Talked about who might be coming into the driver's seat between the Knicks and the 76ers, but there are actually teams ahead of them, and there's teams that I think we're both confident are well ahead of them. The big 3 in the West: the Minnesota Timberwolves, Denver Nuggets, OKC Thunder, and the Boston Celtics, who have just been a regular season and playoff juggernaut.
The big one.
Fuck. put away the Miami Heat. So like
truly.
30 plus. Who's in the driver's seat? Where do you want to start here? What's the go?
The driver's seat. Are you asking me who I'm picking for the ring?
Yeah.
Who I feel most comfortable picking for the ring?
Like heading into the playoffs, I picked the Nuggets, but who are you picking after seeing this sample size?
Same. I was the same as you heading into the playoffs, and I've broken it down and I've chopped it all up. I think it's the Wolves.
Yeah.
I think that they have health and depth on their side over the Nuggets. And then I think they have experience on their side over the Thunder. And I think that if you were to put the Wolves in the place of the Celtics in the East, it would have been a sweep against the Heat. And although I think Boston's best is better than Minnie's best, I think that Boston's worst is a lot... is worse than Minnie's worst, and it's more likely that Boston hit their worst than Minnie hit their worst. And so I broke it all down like I feel like that also comes with the caveat of the Nuggets' health. And I hate being like if the Nuggets are going into the second round unhealthy and beaten up, and KCP's not playing, or playing while carrying an injury, and Jamal Murray's, like, if both of those guys are carrying an injury, then I think that the Wolves come out of that series. But I would say if the Nuggets are healthy, I'd be taking them. I really think it's Wolves Nuggets is the ring. I think whoever wins that series is going to win the ring.
I want to talk about OKC at the end as well, but I disagree. I still think it's Denver, just because it's so proven, and they've just been flicking the switch. Like, there's that stat that like the Lakers were like the total difference was like 11 points through the first 4 games or something, right? Like the Lakers were so close, they were right there. Took 2 buzzer beaters / like final shots to win the game from Jamal Murray. And NBA Twitter's been quite funny how it's just like, I wish the worst for this guy. I hope fucking McDaniels just fucks you up, Jamal Murray. But it's... You never want to look at a team and be like, oh, but they're just going to flick the switch and they're just going to be better. But I think they really can. I think, like, Denver has just traditionally always played down to their opponent. And I don't think this Lakers team is very good. And it is going to be quite a culture shock to go from Rui Hachimura and Taurean Prince to Jaden McDaniels and, just all their long wings and 2 big men. I still reckon the Denver Nuggets. And we have to assume everyone's healthy. We have to assume that even though KCP dealt with some injuries, and even though Jamal has as well, they still won the game. They still play basketball, and they're still doing it. And you have to assume that there's no future injuries going to happen. But I just still don't trust Rudy Gobert in the playoffs, and it's crazy that it's crazy that...
This guy's never going to catch a break with you, huh?
He's never caught a break with you until the last fortnight.
Hey, okay, pointing fingers. You're the only one hating him. I'm saying he's going to win the ring.
Cat is still a hole on defense. It's just now he's not going to be guarding Royce O'Neal, right? Mike Conley, I don't think it's that much. I think he's definitely like a great defensive player, not physically anymore, and not physically both laterally and strength-wise. But there's that where it's like I don't trust Rudy Gobert to do a good job. Like we'll talk about the second round between these, or should we just do it right now? But
don't worry, I feel like
Jokic versus Gobert. Jokic has traditionally just absolutely killed that matchup, both from any pick and roll coverage that Rudy Gobert's done, but also Nikola Jokic just seeing the best defensive player and being like, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, Z against him. There's obviously the quote where it's like, brother, I've got 47 points that Dante does so well in his former Yugoslavian accent.
Brother, 47.
So there's that, where Jokic has just dominated his one-on-one matchup. But if Jokic and Jamal, when they do their weak side pick and roll game against any hole, whether it be Cat or anyone, like if they want to put Tony Edwards in the spin cycle for 7 games, where it's like, hey, you're going to be the go-to option on offense, but we're actually going to make you work every single defensive possession. Anthony Edwards is unproven in that area, and Cat, when we were watching basketball together last week, and you're like, Cat, stop making stupid fucking decisions. He's going to do that, right? He's just going to keep making those bad decisions. And I just don't have those same questions about the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I think, the Nuggets have him for coaching as well. And I think offensively, Malone and Jokic and Cutters will we'll find the holes, and I think it'll be like, yeah, in terms of like causing the Wolves to commit fouls, and then, you know, whatever happens after foul trouble happens. I like the Nuggets in that regard. I also like them healthy, but they went through the first round like everyone was copping a bump, and the Wolves kind of just walked through the first round, and it's just got so many gears to get to. And yeah, like, it's so hard to say sub in the Wolves for the Lakers in that first round, but like, I guess the Nuggets really also kind of didn't take it out of first gear either. Like, they were still
playing DJ and Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, they weren't taking the Lakers seriously at all. Like, it was quite clear they didn't view them as a threat. You raise great points, obviously.
Like, there's all the holes on Minnesota, like Cat and like the age and height of Conley, and can Cat do it for 7 games? But like on the Nuggets side, like that starting 5, there's not many holes. Like there's MPJ.
I really, you know what else? You know what I like about the Nuggets starting 5? It's such a starting 5. You know, it's like they're all starting level players. They're all a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Like I don't know. It's just something aesthetic about that.
Yeah, it's very it's very like it's a typical
but I think that's the thing. If I feel like their shallowness, and if they are to be unhealthy, then it kind of brings MPJ to the 4 more at the 3.
Yeah.
But it just his flaws will start to come out a little bit more. And then I just think, as the series progresses, maybe defensively their issues might become an issue, like individually defensively.
But is it just MPJ?
I think so. I think AG really showed in that first round that like he can just guard whoever you want to put him on.
Well, he's proven that in multiple player fronts.
Yeah, but like also he's so valuable offensively now, where whatever the D's throwing at you, and if you want to focus all this attention on Jokic, he's happy to just cut along the free throw line and then just turn and shoot, and that's a good shot. Like mid range is dead, but it's like, what if he's shooting it at 70%? Then it's not. And then finishing and dunking and cutting and stuff like that. So I would say that MPJ is really the only issue there. I think the rest of the lineup is so good, and MPJ is so good. And if he's firing, he's and
he has been like there's been a lot of like personal issues surrounding his life, but he was shooting like 48% from 3 in the first round, and like in those lineups at the start of the fourth quarter where there is no Jokic, and they're like, hey, we're just going to give it to one of our like jackers in Jamal or MPJ. MPJ was like, that's fine. I'm just going to take all these like jab steps into AD, side steps, and just make the most crazy shots ever. Again, there's just no holes in this Denver lineup.
So what happens when Jokic goes to the bench and DeAndre Jordan isn't coming in against this Wolves team?
It's AJ at the 5. Okay. And do you think that Cat and Gobert are going to bully AJ and Peyton Watson that much?
So this was my biggest issue with the Suns in the first round. Just go small, especially if you don't have a 5 that's good enough to go to come up against Gobert and Cat, mainly Gobert. Just go small and run them off the floor. I don't think that Gobert will make the most of the AG matchup, and I think MPJ just has to be as not dumb as possible defending in the post.
But and then last playoffs he wasn't.
But like this playoffs,
right?
And then Peyton Watson, I feel like I trust him. And also I just don't trust Gobert to back someone down, especially someone that's like prepared to take on that challenge. And then Cat just doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it anymore, which is fine. I think that's kind of good for the team that he's playing on the perimeter more, and he's creating so much space for everyone. Mainly Ant. I think this will be the best series in the playoffs. I think this will be the most entertaining, and I actually think whoever wins this will win the ring.
Yeah, I think this will be the best series, or Denver-Boston, because that just seems like such a fun series. But
do you not think the Nuggets are just clearly better than Boston?
In the
Who's
playoffs,
going to shit themselves on Denver?
Yeah.
And who isn't going to shit themselves in Boston?
Well, so what's your prediction though? We didn't write our predictions in early because I sort of wanted to like hear what your arguments were. But what's your prediction? Like
my prediction for this round,
for the Minnesota Denver.
If healthy Nuggets, if not healthy Wolves.
No, but assuming all health.
Assuming all health Nuggets.
In how many games?
Oh, poor. Okay. Oh man, I still. Let's say 6. I hate a 6. I really, you know how much I hate a 6.
I'm gonna say Nuggets 5.
Damn.
I think that Suns team might have been really bad.
Yeah. So do you think the Wolves are only one game better than last year compared to their series against the Nuggets last year? Because that was a sweep.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I think they're way better, but I just think that this Nuggets team, just when they need to lock in, and let's say they're going to lock in from the tip, not from halftime. When they're locked in, there are no holes, but there are just so many question marks surrounding the Minnesota Timberwolves, and like we haven't even talked about Jokic's defense, which has traditionally been like a big thing to talk about. But it's fully like it's been fine, and he puts in so much effort, and he's done a great job.
I feel like that bud has been nipped in.
Yeah. But so if Tony Edwards is trying to like attack Jokic and pick and roll, he can't. Then you've got let's say Jokic is hedging really hard, and then Tony's going to make the quick read. Then it's going to come down to, is Jaden McDaniels going to make you 3 in the corner, or is Cat and Gobert going to be able to catch that lob or make a decision when it's like a 3 versus 2 where they get it just inside the free throw line. But then if, let's say, you've pulled Jokic out or you've pulled Aaron Gordon out, then it's going to be Cat and Gobert making decisions against like KCP, Peyton Watson, and all these dudes who are just, this team just knows how to defend, and they've done it for years and years and years.
True.
And they've won a title with it. And as soon as you take the ball out of Ant's hands, I don't trust anyone to really attack one of the best defenses we've seen in recent years. Yeah,
but do you not feel like Ant will just find his spots?
He did against the Suns, but again, it's like, who's he killing in the Suns? Like Yusuf Nurkic and fucking Royce O'Neal, and who was their primary matchup on him?
Beal. Yeah.
Have you seen how shit he is?
Yeah, poor Beal. Yeah, all right. Well, I guess we're both looking forward to this one.
Yeah, no, this. I think you're right. This is going to be the best series.
Should we watch game 1 together or something?
I think we are. Yeah. But you don't like OKC #1 seed beat the 8 seed convincingly. That's all you can ask them to do, right? Do we think that they're a chance to like win a title?
And we're still waiting on their opponent? Or am I completely overlooking?
Yeah, the Dallas Mavericks are up 3-2 after winning a blowout today. Again, I said this last week on the pod, Dallas Mavericks, they get blown out or they blow out. Like, I tuned into this in the fourth quarter and I was like, oh, AJ Lawson. What the fuck, man?
Yeah. I mean, that's
my guy right there.
But playoffs are all about the AJ Lawson minutes.
But, it's like OKC is going to verse a beaten up, more tired opponent than Denver and Mini. It looks like they, just like we were saying with the Knicks and the 76ers, have an easy route.
You reckon they go to Lamicki?
They've got a Lamicki conference, and then they need to improve.
I reckon
the term Lamicki is so funny.
It's so good. I think Dallas would beat OKC.
Wow, I think OKC will beat Dallas, but they also just haven't been tested. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Dallas is a great test where it's like, okay, here's Luka and Kyrie, and if you have any problems, they're going to fucking find it.
Yeah.
But it's just, I talk about Denver having done it, and it's like, we know what they can do, but OKC, man, like, we still don't know. They've just played 4 games.
You know what I like about OKC is I think Mark Daigneault has not only like this, like I feel like his strategy in the first round, especially going 11 deep, wasn't just like I've got 4 rounds that I'm looking ahead at. In best case scenario, we get to the finals. I feel like he was like setting them up for the next few years of making it to the playoffs. Because like even every star is playing in the 40 minutes. Shea, I think, was playing 37 or something. But even when, I think Shea had a game he played 42 minutes, even when he's playing 42 minutes, 10 of those he's like not burdened with like the full-on load that like every time LeBron was out there, I was like, shit, you're doing everything. And like even Jokic to a lesser degree, it was like you were doing everything in spurts just when you wanted to get your team a win. There's not like the chatter of the non-SGA minutes, Yeah. But yeah, I think Daigneault is like, I think, man, he might have secured himself like 8 more years as head coach of the Thunder.
8 more years.
They've been chanting. But yeah, I just feel like we're on the other side. We're like firmly on the other side of the rebuild in OKC, and they still have all those assets.
Yeah.
And it's going in such the best direction.
Yeah. And like, they can offer like fucking 14 picks for Larry Markkinen. They can do something crazy where it's like, find the best possible fit. Don't worry about their fucking contractual status. You can just get him. Like, if you really want OG Anunoby, you can probably get him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are no holes. Like, there is. It's like, what's the hole? Like, backup small forward. I know Lindy Waters is fine, and Gordon Hayward's eventually going to retire. Like, stuff like that.
Same deal as when they had KD. Same issue.
Just is Andre Roberson still playing?
But wait until you hear who their starting small forward is.
If they beat, I guess, like, who's in the driver's seat right now? You say Mini. I say Denver, maybe Philly if they can pull off this.
No, I'm not saying Philly.
No, I'm not saying Philly either. Yeah. I mean, maybe Philly next year if Joel Embiid's healthy and if they've traded their picks for a Paul George type.
31.
Yeah. But it just feels bad to ask a question who's in the driver's seat and not mention the one seed who just swept convincingly an opponent.
Yeah.
Where,
the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Pally Wobbles. But like, Minnesota obviously just dismissed Booker and KD. Denver obviously dismissed LeBron and AD. So what if we know that these three teams were tied for a lot of the season. What if the tiebreakers just went the way that, what if OKC had just beaten LeBron and AD in 4 or 5 games? All of a sudden we're talking about them, and we probably will still be talking about Denver if they beat the Pels just because they did it last year. But I just want to put a note on it that we are mentioning them.
Yeah. Oh, and it's not like they played poorly, but like, what if they play the Lakers without LeBron? And what if they played another team you mentioned without their best player? Because Zion was incredible in the play-in.
That's why they called him that. Z-in. That doesn't make sense.
But I think we've hit the nail close enough to the head.
Yeah, okay,
the Thunder. No one's saying they're bad.
No. I just want to mention them because there's been a lot of. I really like my idea of just these 3 teams doing a round robin.
Yeah,
like just all play each other once. No, just
this season.
Yeah. So just Dallas Clippers. We'll talk about that in a second, but just have mini Denver and OKC
in place of the playoffs.
Yeah, just do a round robin. Maybe you play each other twice, and then the winner of the round robin goes in to play Boston. Let's not even fuck with the Indiana and Cleveland Orlando series. Do you want to talk about Dallas Clippers?
Yeah.
So,
do you?
Yeah, I just don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I think everything's settled now. I think Harden had his good games, but as I said today in the chat, soon as something's on the line, 2 of 12. Like, is that not the most James Harden playoff game ever?
Poor guy.
Yeah, but he used to get 13 points just due to fouls, and now he gets 7. But yeah, I think Luka is comfortably the best player on the court. I think Kyrie knows that he is, and he's like, okay, I can just be a deadly scorer. Gaff and Lively playing well in the center rotation. PJ Washington's playing, everyone's playing well. Their system is working. They're getting so many easy baskets, which you would imagine a Luka-led team would get, but then also they're coming up against a pretty well-coached, a very well-coached and good enough defensive team in the Clippers. And just the amount of fast break opportunities and corner threes they're able to generate, and then also the amount of times Luka's been able to just get to a really easy, slow-paced turnaround mid-range jumper that's seems to go in every single time. I think that they took a bit of time to find their feet in the first 4 games of the playoffs, but now I think that if they can at least replicate maybe not efficiency, but if they can produce a similar product to what they did in Game 5, I think that they've found their feet in this current roster.
Game 5 was in LA, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Clippers really miss their best player. It's obviously we're talking about the Clippers, and it's how are they going to stop Luka and Kyrie? But it's so hard to play without your best player because the Mavs were getting away with some lineups, and Marco pointed this out in the group chat where he's like, man, they're playing Lively /Gaff and Maxey Cleaver, which is if Kawhi Leonard was out there, he's just finding a way to pick that apart no matter what.
Yeah.
Paul George obviously dressed up as Wes Wally for Halloween, and it's just going to haunt him forever. James Harden doesn't play well in the playoffs, and the next guy up is Russell Westbrook. He's like the first guy to start taking minutes in that rotation. They're always playing a traditional centre, whether it be Zubac or Mason Plumlee. And it's like, oh, of course, you can just play one of those two centres and Maxey Kleber, and they were playing PJ Washington, who's big for a three as well, and you can sub him out for Derrick Jones Jr. It's just like it's just tall. Obviously, it works. It worked well on defense, and if they're hitting their shots, they're hitting their shots. And it's like, this isn't like the Mavs have found something. I think it's just that Kawhi Leonard is out there. There's no one out there to punish these horrible players for playing. Not horrible, but like horrible lineups for playing. And it's just it would be so good if Kawhi Leonard was healthy. But I mean, he's officially listed as day to day. Fucking whatever. Like, you know, when's Kawhi Leonard going to play like a full series? I think someone had the stat where he hasn't played a full playoff since 2019.
Damn, see what happened then. So do you reckon the Clippers would win the series with Kawhi?
I don't know if they'd win, but it definitely wouldn't be a 30-point blowout with Paul George like not hitting a three until the fourth quarter or something. Right? Like it's, I still think this Dallas team's really good. And Lukas also been dealing with an injury, and like he came out and pretty much like apologized after game 2, where he was like, you know, I need to be better. I need to help Kyrie because Kyrie's like scoring 40 points and stuff, and I need to like start holding my own load. But it's just I think it's more of a coin flip if Kawhi's there, because the last time Kawhi played against these Mavs, remember he just took over and scored like 8 points in like a couple of seconds, and it was like bang mid-range, and it was like, cool, the series is over, let's keep moving. It's just, there's no one on the Clippers that can do that apart from Kawhi.
Isn't it so cool though that Luka was like, I have to be better, and then just did it? It's like he says it and he just does it. Like so many people or so many players just don't have that ability to back it up, or at least don't back it up for more than a game. And now he's just like, what am I doing? I've been wanting a teammate that can get 30 forever.
Now I got one.
I got one.
Something worth mentioning that I didn't actually know this. I was listening to a podcast yesterday. And I was like, wow, I actually didn't know that. Remember how Derek Lively had like a bit of a low end of the season? And it was a little bit of rookie wall. And this was probably today, Lively, 25 minutes, 5 of 5 from the floor, 12 points, plus 24, right?
So he hit 2 threes.
No, he didn't. But, down the end of the season, it was like, okay, they've got Gaff, etc., etc. His mum passed away. With like a month or 2 to go in the season.
God.
And he was injured, so he wasn't playing basketball, and then was also missing games for non-basketball reasons. And he's 19 years old, and this is his first playoffs. So it's like, holy fuck, like, let's give him every benefit of the doubt ever.
And he started the season so well, man.
Remember when he beat Wembanyama in the in game 1? Remember that?
In the non-Vassell minutes. Born in 2004, a day before you.
That's actually
and 7 years,
6 years before.
6 years later,
redacted student.
Oh my god! 216 centimeter, 2 meter Derek.
2 meter Peter Derek.
Derek Lively 2. The 2 stands for meters. Who cares?
So that I said this before as well. It's like Darius Garland had broken his jaw and couldn't actually eat food if it wasn't through a straw. So now it's like, he's not playing well in the playoffs and he hasn't had a good season. But it's like, he couldn't chew for like 3 months there. Stuff like that. It's just nice to put in context. And I'm obviously looking for every reason to back up Darius Garland because he's one of my favourite players.
Because you got his rookie card.
No, I don't. I've just got his T-shirt jersey. But it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's worth mentioning that anything he does is not found money, but it's like, fuck, good on this guy.
Should we move on to the East? Have we done the whole West?
Yeah, pretty much. Before we move on to the East, would you like to grab a refreshment?
Yeah.
This episode of The Deep 2 is presented by Gelateria Bico, the official gelato of The Deep 2. Gelateria Bico, handmade gelato in the heart of Brunswick.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show is your fortnightly dose of the lighter side of basketball, hosted by me, Marco.
And me, Lukas. we take a more laid-back approach, talking about the NBA, the WNBA, FIBA basketball, culture, whatever tickles our fancy or grinds our gears.
The show's filled with great guests, classic gags, and a healthy dose of tangents in honour of the great man himself.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show, fortnightly on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
You know, loves just talking about the league, certain things like that.
And we're back.
Sean, you said you didn't want to do any little chatter at the start of the episode.
Yeah, we can get it out of the way now.
Today, something huge happened. We are May the 2nd, 2024.
2 days before the big one.
I'm looking at my shoes, sorry. I've got Doc Martens,
Doctors,
like everyone else. I just wore them in, and I reckon I got them in 2017. Today was the first day. I've been tolerating them for about 2 or 3 months. It was just awful.
How often do you wear them?
Well, now I wear them probably 3 times, 4 times a week.
Yeah.
But that wasn't always the case. But today I finally understand why people are like, multi-foot, it'll like hug your foot. Yeah. I get what they're talking about now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth the initial pain.
See, I haven't had the initial, because I got 2 pairs of Docs in like 2019 and wore them in worst days of my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I haven't experienced that pain in 5 years.
Yeah.
So it must be pretty bad.
Well, it's pretty bad. But like there was just so many days where it was like, it's not non-comfortable, but it's not comfortable. And everyone's like, once you wear it in, it's comfy.
You're bleeding, man. You bleed. Yeah.
Once you wear it in, it's comfy. It's like there's so many shoes that are just good from the get.
Yeah. It's to go. Also, just traps in moisture, Docs. It's fucking disgusting.
It's really good.
Maybe this is TMI, but I'll take off my sock and I've just got like a sponge white foot. It's
that
fucking
is TMI.
That is TMI. Yeah.
Also, listeners didn't see how wide Sean took for the width for the birth of his foot, and it was about probably a foot and a half.
Yeah. That's funny. I saw this chick on TikTok who was like, Doc owners, you'll get this. And I'm like, I got a Doc housemate. But she's got a hammer and just fucking whacked the back out of that shoe and said, when you wear it, like, it feels fine.
Oh, cool. What a normal thing to do with a shoe.
I know when I got my New Balances, I just fucking whacked them with a hammer. And then they were broken.
When I got my Asics, you'd never believe it. What a weird shoe. It was good from the first time I wore it.
Yeah, it's definitely... It's interesting.
It's an acquired taste.
Did you want a jumper? I went to break. I didn't even ask.
No, but you didn't compliment my outfit at all.
Yeah, it is good. It's good.
Nice
you got the khaki socks.
This is my Thursday best.
Yeah, they're good. Dressing up on a Thursday.
They're bloody beautiful one.
What about any of my small talk?
Yeah. What's your small talk?
No, nothing.
Yeah, I thought that was part of the reason you wanted to skip past.
No. There's another reason. Wink, wink.
Your small talk is something else.
No, my small talk is boosted.
Oh, don't tell anyone about that. No, absolutely don't tell anyone about that.
The Eastern Conference.
Yes, the left.
The Lefton Conference.
No, it's the right.
The Boston Celtics are on to the next round now.
Hang on, I've got to ask someone this, and this I'm putting this out there to the world. Whenever I think of the Eastern and the Western Conference in the NBA, for some reason I equate East with left and West with right.
Yeah.
You get this? This phenomena?
Yeah, I get it. It's sort of something to do with the letter R and the letter W.
You reckon?
That's what I think.
Left, East,
L-A,
West, right?
Yeah. They because I famously got it wrong.
Dude.
When I first said it to Dante, I famously got the conferences wrong.
Geographically, Lefton is, what would you call it? Not phonetically, but like vibely. But like East is left, right?
Yeah,
East is left.
Yeah.
You get me? Yeah. And why? What is that?
I don't know.
Well, 131060. Give us a buzz if you know what we're talking about, or if you agree. Because I've thought this since NBA Live 2004.
You can tell he's been on the radio. Bloody 131060 rolling off the tongue.
Do you have anything to plug?
Article-wise? Nah, maybe next week we will.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Nah, not for me. So we've got the Celtics playing the winner of Cavs Magic and the winner of Knicks Sixers playing the winner of Bucks Pacers. Are we going to get that strange phenomena where the start of the second round has started in the West before the East is finished? So
Yeah.
Saturday's game one, yeah.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, like it's already set in stone. There might even be a game in the West that finishes before.
Clippers Mavs,
Yeah.
If they fall 7, cool.
Yeah.
It's just like the Celtics are their only team onto the next round.
Yeah.
I can't see any of the other 6 teams beating them.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. I think the Heat, if they had Jimmy, were the team.
Yeah.
But I don't see any of the other teams in the East. If the Sixers can get like rolling in like every sense of the word, then yes.
Yeah.
But like I think it's they were 64-18 for a reason. You know?
Yeah.
And like they went from a really good team to a really good team that added Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, which counts for a lot.
Yeah, and like the Knicks beat the Celtics down the end of the regular season. The Knicks, you assume by the time they would meet up with conference finals, they will have Julius Randle and now Bojan Bogdanovic back because he's injured for a week or two. Like, what's a full strength Knicks? And is this Knicks team that good with Julius Randle fully healthy at the 4? I don't know.
Well, trading Randall now seems like even more of a viable option.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
They're so good without him.
For CAA client Paul George.
God, he's
everywhere.
He's going to be playing 2 teams. He's going to be playing for both teams in this series next year.
Yeah.
What about? Oh, damn it! I completely forgot. I just had a trade idea for Julius Randle. I just left my mind. Anyhow, we talked about Knicks Sixers.
Yeah.
Pacers Bucks. You said we touched on that as well.
I just don't. Yeah, we did. Even if the Bucks are at full strength, Doc Rivers is their coach, and I don't think he can win a series with Doc Rivers as
You
coach.
don't trust that?
But the Pacers are not making any noise. I think the Pacers get swept in the following round.
By
Whoever, literally Sixers or I don't care. They're going to get swept. What do you
Okay.
think? You agree?
kinda. I don't know if sweep. Oh, actually, probably sweep. Yeah. Do you moving forward? Okay, if we agree that the Celtics are going to make it out of the East, moving forward, what's the move for the Knicks, or what teams could relatively be competing with them next year?
Okay, so Orlando are going to do something, right? Like Orlando is going to get a ball dominant guard, be that D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Klay Thompson, or Donovan Mitchell. Like they're going to get someone good to great. I think. Mm-hmm. So Orlando could be up there, and they've had a very up and down.
And you think they could be on the same plane as the Celtics?
I think maybe if I'm just projecting tiers. I mean, the Bucks are trending down. I think the top tier would be Boston. The second tier would be like Orlando, New York, maybe Philly. I don't think the Miami Heat can do anything to.
True.
I don't think they can do anything. Their core are still aging, and we know who Bam and Tyler Hero are. The Bulls know, the Hawks know. Like even if the Hawks do a full refresh, it's sort of 1 year to sort of see what you've got, and then maybe fine tune it the following year, and then all of a sudden Trey leaves from free agency or something, right? Who's coming in? Like are the Nets? Like if the Nets get Donovan Mitchell, are you putting them up in that tier 1, maybe
No,
tier
that's
2?
such a big jump.
The Raptors have got good pieces. No. Yeah, then the Hornets, Wizards, Detroit. Yeah, I think the Celtics are again.
They just own the East for the next few years.
Yeah, like if the Bucks can't do anything, and like, you know, if the Bucks lose, is it tomorrow or the day after? Like, there's going to be chatter about what the future of Giannis Antetokounmpo, and my Golden State Warriors will definitely be throwing a hat in the ring there. But like, if Giannis does leave, then it's like fuck. Not only does the East just get so much worse. Like, yeah, the Celtics run this for at least 3 years, just uncontested.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that anyone can join him in that echelon. I think the Heat just as is, is probably the best bet. You know what else I like about the Heat? The Heat's first round series this year is similar to what Dagnall is doing with the Thunder. I feel like Spo is doing with Jovic and Jaquez.
Yeah.
That they're just like, he's just like, get playoff minutes into you guys. get beaten down by the Celtics, so that next year your baseline in the regular season is a lot higher, and then there's like that you can develop off of that. And I'm not saying Heat culture, I'm saying NBA culture,
NBA experience.
Yeah, NBA
Look,
experience.
I definitely agree with Jaquez, and I think he could be like an all-star level player. But like, what's Jovic's advantage against his opponent? Like, if you have to think in your mind like Jovic scoring 2 or 3 points, how does he do it?
Well, a 3-pointer.
Is it?
Or a toe on the line too. I think that he could just be like toolsy and a 3-point shooter
Like Paul Millsap
with a jump shot.
and no defense.
Nah,
He's fine. He's
fine. He's also 20.
If I play you at the 4 next to Bam, you're going to look fine, you know?
He's oh my god! Do you know where he's born?
Serbia?
The United Kingdom.
All right.
Leicester. They won the league a few years ago.
They won the league. They won the
there.
league yesterday, bro. This is the bottom one.
He's 20 as well.
Yeah,
like there's
yeah,
plenty
yeah,
of time. I think Spo's done the right thing with this team. He got a few wins out of this.
Haywood Highsmith now has experience.
Haywood Highsmith.
Right?
Haywood Highsmith.
I'd prefer you said Haywood Highsmith before Jovic, but yeah, it's playing for the future, but their prospects just aren't really blue chip. And maybe Jaquez has played himself into that, but
maybe they don't have to be blue chip. Maybe they just have to be good role players around Jimmy and Van.
I know. But how long is Jimmy going to keep doing this? Like he hasn't had a good regular season, right? Because he's just not a regular season player.
Yeah, he doesn't care much for it.
He's been injured in the playoffs.
True. But I don't know. I still hold faith.
Yeah. So, but you don't really like my Orlando pick? You don't like Orlando sneaking into the top tier?
The top tier, no. I don't know. I understand, like, they got the depth and, like, just natural progression means their top end talent
And the coaching.
And the coaching. I do like Jamal Mosley. But yeah, just natural progression at the stage of their careers that they're at would make you think that their starting lineup would just be, N times better next year. And then if you were to bring in do you want to bring in a guy or do you want to bring in a supportive piece? Like, do you want to bring in a D Mitch or a Lowry?
Yeah. No, it can't be a forward. Like they're just so stacked to the forwards and bigs.
Yeah, but like a Larry Markkinen type player,
a complimentary guy,
or
like Kyle Lowry. I think you always swing for ball dominant, and you always swing for the best player you can.
But like, D Mitch is kind of just like stomping on wherever he's going to. Like
he has.
If he goes to New York, I feel like it just fucks with the feng shui.
Yeah, I think that's just off now. That's just not happening. Yeah, you're right. It becomes a D-Mitch team, and just like
we've seen what a D-Mitch team does.
Yeah, it was like where does he rank in like scoring guard tiers? Whereas like, is he now below Maxey?
Yeah, I would say so.
But I think final chat before we finish up because we're in the weeds. But like, should I just like start naming players? And it was funny listening to your pod on Tuesday where Marco's just like Brandon Ingram trades, and he said like the most outlandish ones, and you're like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So
I like this segment is just, can I just start naming players?
Can I start naming players? So
tell me when to stop.
I'll name guards, lead guards, and you tell me if they're better than Tyrese Maxey.
Okay.
All right. So Luka Doncic.
Yes.
Shai Gilgeous.
Yes.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes.
Steph Curry.
Yes.
So Damian Lillard.
Yes.
Jalen Brunson.
Yes. I think
You think Jalen Brunson's better than Maxey?
Yes, I think you have to factor in.
I agree.
Also, like role.
Yeah. Trae Young.
You know what? No.
Right. James Harden.
No.
Drew Holiday.
Yes.
Donovan Mitchell.
I want to say no, but it's probably yes.
Yeah. Derek White. Yeah. It's like De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox is better.
De'Aaron Fox is better than Tyrese Maxey?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Maxey, yeah. I'm putting a lot of stock into 4 games, but he's played well.
De'Aaron Fox has been running an offense really well for years now.
Yeah.
And also he's done...
Like best offense.
Yeah, and also
year.
he's done a playoff series without a centre, effectively.
Tyrese Maxey, these playoffs, 32.4 points, 7 assists on 50, 43, 88. Like 30 points in the playoffs.
And the turnovers?
2.4.
Damn. So if the L2M is correct, then that would be about 2.7, and the 3-point percentage would be about 41, or 39, or 40, or something. Well, you go through that list and go yes or no. Luka?
Yeah, no, so Lukas Shea...
Did you disagree with me on any of them?
Just maybe Dame.
You reckon Dame's less good than him?
Yeah, and maybe like Steph had a really bad second half to the year.
I don't care. Like, who cares?
Oh yeah, but we could be in for a plummet.
We could be in for a plummet, but if you were drafting a team going into the finals
today, I'd pick Steph. Yeah.
But like, you're doing that if Steph has a bad season next season and Maxey has a good one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm picking Maxey over Trae Young. Even though I'd love to see Trae Young again as the heliocentric dude. Like James Harden, I'm picking Maxey, which is crazy. They used to be teammates. Did you know? Like Fred VanVleet, I'm picking Maxey. Jalen Brunson, I'm probably picking Brunson, but he gets the same boost as Maxey gets for this exact conversation. Drew Holiday is a bit of a different guy to factor in here because he's just not that ball dominant guy that you're talking about. De'Aaron Fox, I probably pick Maxey.
What if Maxey was in Sacto in De'Aaron Fox's role?
I think it'd be very similar.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Do you not?
I reckon the ASTs would be lower. I reckon the overall field goal percentage of the team would be lower as well. I think that Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, I'm not going to just list their role players,
but they all went to Kentucky.
Yeah, which has to count for something. But I just think that Fox organizes them and runs that offense so well and has the chemistry. He's built that chemistry with the team so well that I don't know if Maxey, if you were to give him Fox's age and career and experience with that lineup, I don't think that they might be good, and I think they'd look different.
Yeah.
And I think that you there's a playmaking side and a leadership side that Maxey doesn't have to do. Although in saying that, and this is something I forgot and I really wanted to say earlier, and I was thinking about saying all day, there's this new wave of leadership that I'm loving that Tyrese Maxey has done, and that Anthony Edwards is doing, where they've come into this team where Embiid is the star for Maxey and Cat is the star for their teams, and they don't want to step on their toes, but they're clearly skyrocketing in their development. And maybe Maxey isn't as good as Embiid is yet, but Ant is just so much better than Cat. Yeah. But they're both they're the guy. Ant will be like, Cat's the best offensive player in this team. Everything goes through him, whatever. Yeah. He's the key. He's the best player. And then Maxey's he's kind of saying the same stuff, but they're also just... Maxey's not better, I will say that. But it's just cool. It's just cool to see that is such a... It's a form of leadership, and it's cool to see it happen from these guys that are in their early 20s that are ushering along these guys that are in their late 20s or 30.
Yeah, because so many guys are you'll see the end of the bench guys that are just I'm the best, and it's obviously we know why they're saying that because their whole entire life they've been the best, but now it's oh, you're actually just Trevor Ariza. It is cool to see leadership and maturity, because you could average 32 points in the fucking playoffs and be like, no, I'm the fucking best player, and then get all snotty. But also, I just you were thinking about that all day. I just can't stop thinking about missed opportunities. We know how small windows are. Obviously, the whole Ben Simmons stuff and just wasted years, and James Harden has played well in the playoffs.
We're talking about the Sixers.
It's just this might be a missed opportunity. Next year, if Joel Embiid's injured for the playoffs, but they have Paul George or a Paul George type, it's this was the year. And I'm not saying again, don't go get Paul George 2 months ago because you couldn't. But windows are so small. Maxey's playing this well right now, but Ben Simmons was playing well for a minute there. And what if they tried? What if they'd won a title then? We just don't know what's going to change. We don't know what's going to happen.
So you reckon it's the end for the Sixers?
No, it might be.
You reckon?
Well, I mean, it could be the end for any team. Like if someone just tears their ACL tomorrow, it's like, oh, the Wolves don't look good with torn ACL Tony Edwards.
True.
I wish Daryl Morey made a move at the deadline that wasn't Buddy Hield.
I was on Tyrese Maxey. I was searching Maxey into Basketball Reference, and did you know there was another Maxey that played in the NBA?
Was it in no relation?
No relation, it seems. And there's one in the WNBA. There's Julie Maxey in the WNBA and Marlon Maxey in the NBA. No relation, but his name's Marlon Lee Maxey. And I searched Marlon Maxey, and I got an Instagram suggestion for Marlon L. Maxey Jr., which I would assume is Marlon Lee Maxey Jr. And he seems to be playing basketball in, I don't know, elsewhere. But Marlon Maxey had 2 years with the Wolves and then just fucking killed it in the Greek League. He was a Greek League All-Star twice over, and a French League All-Star, and the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament MVP, would you believe, in 92, of course. But yeah, that's just a little bit of trivia for you, for anyone that's ever doing
Portsmouth
Invitational or early 90s Minnesota Timberwolves trivia.
Yeah. One thing I feel like we should talk about before we finish, Chris Finch, torn patella.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Is that not the most insane shit of all time?
Yeah.
Also, I feel like a contact hit, like a hit like that, you're not coming out of that with a torn patella. You're coming out of it with like a broken something or a contusion.
Like a rib, yeah. It's crazy. And is he going to coach in a wheelchair? Like, is he Professor X style in it?
You'd assume so. I think so. Like, what else?
Like crutches? Or is he just sitting down and then he's going to get like one of his assistants to scream at the refs?
Yeah. Well, I would assume. I don't know. I feel like I don't really think that I feel like he's not the most intense. Like,
he's
like I couldn't imagine Tibbs wheeling around in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
But like I think Finch is more like I've got the game plan and I'll make some adjustments in the game, but I'm not going to be like the most animated physical guy on the bench. But yeah, good point to bring that up. Yeah. So what do you reckon? Would you miss a game?
But you miss a game, but the recovery is still like 6 weeks, right? So it's like, if you're going to miss one game, you may as well just go to all of them, unless there's a surgery involved, right?
Yeah. I remember an AFL coach didn't coach a game like 10 years ago because they had like a physical injury.
But like, I'd love to see the crutches. Like,
you reckon?
Imagine holding up a single crutch, like telling people to like move and stuff. That's pretty cool.
That would be cool. Do you reckon this galvanizes the Minnesota Timberwolves to go on a championship run?
I actually thought everyone was standing around like holding up a fist, but that's actually the signal, because as soon as he fell down, they're holding up fists. That's the signal for a stretcher.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was to call for a pick.
No, like when there was like 3 dudes around him holding up a fist, I was like, oh my god, is he dead? Like, what the? No, it's just stretcher.
Damn,
I don't know if it galvanizes. There was the photo where they're like, hey, like doing this for coach, and they're like hugging him and shit, and he's in a walking frame. It's just so weird. I've never seen it before.
Bit tonguing as well.
Big tonguing, yeah, big tonguing.
Do you know how many win shares Jokic has through 5 games?
Fucking, I don't know, 34?
Oh, no.
No, what's a win share? Like,
win share is how many wins you add to your team.
Through 5 games?
Yeah, so like
2.1.
Oh, fuck, you've done it to me. You've ever done this 5 times.
What is it?
For the season, he had 17.
Okay. So for this series?
Yeah.
So how many wins would he add to the 4 wins?
In the 5 games, how many wins is he solely responsible for by this stat?
Is 2.1 a good guess?
Win shares, an estimate of the number of wins contributed by a player.
4?
That's 1.3.
Right. But, yeah, look, I'm the wrong guy to ask about this.
But
I've never quoted win shares in my writing life.
Okay, but I think for reference, I think he led the league in win shares this season. In a season, his team went 57 and 25, and he had 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, he makes them more. If
he won
if
a game,
if they didn't have him, they'd be 40. They'd have 40 wins.
Yeah.
Look, I've never quoted it because I don't know. I never really know what the fuck to make from it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what's Marcin Gortat's win shares like a couple of years ago, you know?
Jesus, which one? Which season?
which Gortat? No, I actually don't want to know.
No, I can give you them.
Yeah.
Over his 806 game career, 61.
Oh, total.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Nah.
That's a couple of games, isn't it?
Yeah. Triple single for the career as well. Wow, how many times is he top 24 in most improved?
I'm going to say twice.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's 24th one year and 19th in the lockout shortened year for
Good on him.
Phoenix.
Good on him. He deserves it that year, that Phoenix year. Well, I would have liked to see him in a full 82, but, you know, we're at the mercy of the owners, which really makes you think about the game at a wider level. Yeah, do you want to finish up?
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on the pod. Check out all our socials, deep2.com, and give us 5 stars on Spotify.
Please.
And good night to Leandro if you're still listening.
Bye.
The NBA moves so quickly these days, it's hard to keep up. Shams and Woj are breaking stories left and right, but the Quick Time Out is right there with them to keep you informed on the latest NBA news. Stop in and let us break it down as it happens. Find the Quick Time Out on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.